If you can't watch it in one sitting, just put it on pause and come back to it. It's the AF series. You're looking at video number 1. The first ride up at Airport Flat. I'm here with Nikki and 2K. We're back from the ride unscathed. It was perfect. This first ride down Ice House Road cuts over to Peavine Ridge and then takes Bryant Springs Road over the dam of Union Valley Reservoir and totally around the backside of the lake before we wind our way back to camp. That's the way to go. You should watch the whole thing. It's good. And if you can't watch it at one sitting, just put it on pause and come back to it. What's the matter with you? Just put it on pause and come back to it. That's the way to go.
I'm gonna be taking off right now for I don't know, probably about a 30-mile ride. I'm gonna go down to Peavine Ridge. I've never taken Peavine Ridge before. Never. I've never gone over the dam at Union Valley. None of it. Alright, so it starts up first kick. We're ready to roll. Not planning any special videotaping as far as multiple cameras or anything. Just got the one helmet cam going on. So that's what you're gonna get. Okay. Don't know how far we're gonna go, but let's keep track of it with a 0 in. Okay, we're at 0 right now. And as far as total time, let's start that rolling automatically. Oh yeah. Heading out on 2K. 2K's been good to me. I didn't check the oil and I didn't oil the chain, which I don't need to, because they just don't need it. Okay, so I got full road pressure. I'm up to approximately 32 pounds in the tires, which is good because here's the pavement, and we plan on hitting a lot of pavement, and then there'll be some dirt roads.
And this ride is going to take you down Ice House Road. I'm giving you the whole road down Ice House Road. We're going down to Peavine Ridge.
And it's not going to be anything crazy. Actually, it's going to be more like a pleasure cruise than some kind of balls out high speed racing as fast as you can It ain't gonna be that. Part of the thing here, people, is I'm going to be reminiscing about Ice House Road. I can't remember the last time I went up Ice House Road. I've always come here to Gurley Flat through Georgetown, so I miss most of it. But I used to come up all the time. Yeah, starting back in 1970, a group of my friends started a commune, a communal campout, which lasted the whole summer. And we had people coming up here. You know, they would be coming up from Placerville, from Cedar Grove, from Sacramento, from Oakland, and from Berkeley. And I think there was somebody from up in Marin County. But there was a lot of people. If I had to guess how many different people came up during the whole summer at one point or another, not all at the same time, I'd have to say 30 or more. And what the thing was is two of my buddies kind of initiated this. They did a little bit of figuring where the best place to go is, and they chose a cove on the lake on Union Valley Reservoir. Now it's about 2 miles from the main campgrounds at Union Valley, but it's no campgrounds at all. It's just forest, which was legal to camp in. You can do dispersed camping. But I remember midsummer, the rangers were getting after us for leaving human waste in the forest, and they made us dig a pit. Had to be 3 foot wide and 4 foot deep. I did most of the digging, and I can tell you it wasn't any fun. Took care of that over the period of 3 days, you know, working on it on and off. And so we started going there. But once again, there was a diverse amount of people, and this was a happening thing. What is a happening thing, you ask? Well, it's a cool thing. It's a fun thing. It's a a good thing. It's something you relish. It was a happening thing. And I could never stay there the whole summer. Some people did pretty much stay there the whole summer. There was even dirt bikes involved, which I wasn't a dirt rider back then, but I can get into some tales of that later. Anyway, this place, you know, to get to it, you would just look at a location such as this right alongside the road, and you know, every once in a while you'll see, oh, there's a cat trail going off to the edge, a cat trail, a bulldozer, a logging operation made a sort of a thing, but it's nothing you travel on at all, and the one they chose to go down, to go to this place, which was in a cove on Union Valley Reservoir, hadn't been used by any vehicle just about since the bulldozer made it. Here comes a guy. We'll go ahead and go around him. Tired of looking at the back of his car. Flashing yellow lights. So down at this cove, the campsite was a really large clearing on the high ground above the lake, above the high water line. And surrounded by very tall, big pine trees. And, we were there for the long haul. So people brought up a lot of stuff. We had a generator and had a set of Altec Lansing Voice of the Theater speakers, high quality Pioneer amplifier, and a record player and a wide selection of records from back in the day. Just think, back in the day, 70s, as far as I'm concerned, was a good era for music. I think so, compared to what I hear coming out today. Of course, I'm from them. I'm from back then, so it's only natural. But what an era for music, and we had all this music up there. So the night times were kind of lively. We had a bonfire campfire pit that was about 8 inches across. And it was surrounded by nice big rocks and stuff. And a typical evening after everybody was having whatever fun they were doing would be you'd get together on a communal meal. Like Speedy, he'd say, "Oh, I've got some wild rice," and I had some lentils, and somebody else had a bunch of vegetables and whatever. We'd put all this stuff in a stew kind of thing and share with everybody. And we were putting on big logs on the fire. And at night we'd be stomping around almost like Indians on a powwow around that campfire. Big, large campfire. Big clearing. Gigantic trees. Tall flames. So I used to come up here for that. The longest I ever stayed was 2 weeks on end. This was before I even had a car. 1970. And so sometimes we'd get a ride up and get dropped off. Sometimes we hitchhiked. And I wasn't the kind of guy that had a lot of money. Back in those days, although I didn't have a bank account, it was hard to keep like $86 on hand. Many times I'd be down to nothing. Gas was only 25 cents a gallon. Cigarettes, 25 cents a pack. So we'd get up there and you'd have to pack in all your stuff enough to handle 2 weeks, however long you're staying. And those are the days when I used to take Ice House Road up as far as Union Valley Reservoir. The place where you go down to the lake was somewhere like right there. It was like right there. It's really, I tried to find it back in early 90s one time, and I was traipsing all over the woods looking for stuff down there. I mean, I went for a hike and was looking. I couldn't find it that time. It was really neat down there because in this cove there were long, big logs backed up into the cove, so you could walk out on the logs, and at that point the water would be 6 foot deep or so. So also it was a place like this, somewhere off to this edge. This might even be it right here. You know, this, what you're seeing here kind of reminds me of it. Somehow we got off the edge. I just saw a road going down there. That could be going down to some of it. But of course, you know, it's different nowadays. You can't go down there with a motorized vehicle, or they've put in new trails and outlawed motorcycles, motorized vehicles. You can only walk, take a horse. Yeah, they even put in, here they got Winch Creek right down there. You can go down to Winch Creek. None of that was there back then. And when we wanted to go up Winch Creek for some reason, to get to Ice House Road, that bridge we just crossed, we'd have to scamper across. There's another spot. Road closed. So they get down there now, but anyway, we used to have to scamper across the boulders alongside the lake. The mountainside was a little steep at one point, and it was quite rocky, and now they have a trail there. So here's campers here. It's just campers everywhere. See, this part here, I haven't been on this. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I was through here. It's been a really long time. Like I say, I'm not really sure where the road going down to our spot is. However, I might have some kind of clue coming up that tells me, oh, it must have been right back there. They've got the sides really overgrown, and then up in there they've done a lot of tree chopping. So you can see the lake down there through the clear trees. And I'd have to think that our spot was right down here somewhere. There was a way to get down there on an old cat trail, and by the end of our summer up there, you could actually take a four-wheel drive truck, or we even took an Opel Kadett down. However, it took about 4 or 5 people pushing it on the way up. But one thing is the car wasn't running right. Okay, so you see, here's the entrance to the recreation area. So right back there must be where our way to get down is, and it's obscured. You can't see it, and of course you can't ride your bike down there, but you could hike. There was another pretty cool thing about the area down there, and that is if you went east along the lakeshore towards that recreation area, it wasn't long before you got to kind of like a watershed coming down the mountainside, kind of like a meadow coming down the mountainside. And what was really neat about it is up towards the higher portions of this flowing meadow going downhill, in between, it was in between like a ravine, you know, not that steep though. But anyway, up at the top there was this, what might have been 40, 50-year-old at the time, spring. And you know, that's what was feeding this meadow with all the water, even in the summertime. But the Forest Service put in a spring there, which essentially looked like a doghouse, about the size of a doghouse. But this thing was submerged into the ground, and it was submerged. You could open up this doghouse door and see it, and it was like 4x4 or 3x3, and you could look straight down in there all the way down to a water level. It was kind of like a well, and just downhill from this doghouse was the pipe that comes out of the ground with the fresh water from the spring. So we used to go there for our water, but that was, you know, I don't want to mislead you into thinking that it was some big long hike to get there, but it wasn't right next to camp either, and it wasn't all that fun to haul water. So we found another much smaller, much less damp, but similar place about halfway there. Halfway through the hike, we found another spot, and we kind of copied their method, but we just dug a hole, not as deep, not as big, and we didn't have a doghouse, but we just dug a hole and we buried a pipe, and we had a spring for water much closer to camp. And that made camp a lot better, because it was about the same distance to go to the lake for some reason, or to go to the spring and get water. And of course, if you're going for drinking water, you wanted that. So there's a tremendous amount of memories coming up Ice House Road, and that summer of 1970. I have really fond memories. Whoops. I'm sorry, I'm not watching the road. Like I say, I haven't traveled it in a long time either. And I'm not going fast, we're going 45. But hey, I got more memories, and I'll try to let you know some of them later on the ride maybe. But right now I'll shut up and you guys can enjoy the road. We're heading on down to Peavine Ridge. Peavine Ridge is almost to Highway 50. I've never taken Peavine Ridge either direction. I've never been over the dam at Union Valley Reservoir, but that's online for you guys coming up. People, I just went looking for high gear, and we were already in high gear, so I looked at the speedometer and it said 68. I tell you, when it comes to riding roads, I could use higher gearing, but if you get to a tough dirt road, you need lower gearing than this has available. So that's one of the things I find with XR 600R. You know, you can go ahead and change the sprockets and specialize in the kind of riding you like to do. But for me, if I was to have only one XR, I need one that has about 7 speeds. I need one. I don't mind the gearing on this at all. I need a higher gear though, so that I can go putting along at 3,500 RPM and be doing, you know, over 70. So there's the Ice House store. I haven't been there in it at least, you know, I'm thinking 20 years, but I don't know. It could have been maybe 15 years ago. I can't remember the last time I was up here. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You could have a higher gear so that you could go out on the highway. You could just thump along and you're going almost 70. But you need a lower gear than what's on here. So you really need a 7-speed. Wide range 7-speed. I'm not talking about getting a 7-speed so that you have wah 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 and you're done. I'm talking about an overdrive and a granny gear. That's what I need, is a granny gear on this bike and an overdrive. Okay, so we got a nice fishing boat here. They're causing me to go 38, 40 miles an hour, which is okay. You guys are with me here on a pleasure cruise. Soon we're going to be doing a little exploring. Once we get onto Peavine Ridge, I believe that's a dirt road, and indeed I'm on the way to dirt roads if it isn't dirt to start with. So we're not far from it. As far as recollections of Ice House Road back in the day, I remember this portion of it was I don't know, I really love the mountains and I love neat places and all that, but as you can see through here, this is all replanted forestation, and it wasn't very good at all back in 1970. How long has that been since 1970? That's 50 years or so. I can't remember exactly what was here, but if it wasn't just burnt and scrub brush, it was certainly just saplings of pine trees. This guy wants to let me by. I'm only going 40. Watch now, I'll go so slow that he needs to pass me. You know, in a way, this kind of forest is kind of cool, but it's also, in a way, you can think of it as a bit of conformity. I mean, look at the randomness of wild forest. The diversity of the trees, the random placement, the young and old, all one. And then when you look at this, it kind of makes you think of the establishment. Well, we've come in here and we have planted a tree every 5 foot. And then we came in 20 years later and thinned it out a bit. That's the kind of stuff they say. And that's what they're doing. It's all the same kind of tree. And you know what that leads to? That leads to disease. You want to have a fully varied forest that has all types of trees, all types of pine, and whatever would natively grow there. Look at that. That's all the same kind of stuff. I don't know what it is, but do you? If you know, leave a comment. Okay, here's Peavine. There's a visitor message post too. So Peavine is paved. Wonder how long this has been paved. I think it used to be dirt. Now, once again, I'm going to quiet down now and then, but I don't know much about Peavine. But I just want to tell you, down in there, in that canyon to the left, my left, is the South Fork of the American River. This road, jeez, the battery died while we were at some point. I don't know if it was on Peavine Ridge or Ice House Road, but anyway, currently we have a brand new battery in, brand new charged. Anyway, so we ran out of power on the machines, and though I was talking and stuff, I don't know where it ended up, so we're just gonna guess about that. But currently on a dirt road. We're here because I'm looking for dirt. I'm hoping for dirt all the time. But I stopped for a number of things. One was to let air out of my tires because of the dirt road. But as I look at the map, it seems that the road I wanted to take is this paved road, and the route I wanted to take is paved the whole way. So what you see right here is how it's going to be. At this point, we're supposed to be on our way down to the dam at Union Valley Reservoir. Never been here before. You're coming here on the first time with me. And here we are at a bridge, an unnamed bridge. It has nice water going through it. There was a little way to get down there with a big rock in the way. Ooh, it looks nice down in there. I should go back and check that. Ooh, there's a hell of a swimming hole right there. And it looks like people park here a lot or used to use this to go down there or something. But they have their boulders in the way now. So we turned around to go back and look at this, just to see what's here. You know, since we're already here, let's get a look at it. I just want to see if this is a place. You know, this road actually serves as a great dual sport alternative route, and it looks like a great spot to stop for a break right there. And it looks like this goes down there, but I can't tell from here. I should look at it. So that's what we're going to do. You got to see this. Hold on, you got to see this. This is nice. Nice swimming hole right in there. Rapids coming into it. Swimming. There's another even nicer one downstream, but I'm not sure the beach is as good. That's a good spot. I'm glad I'm taking this route because, and I have freedom. Freedom to go to the high country. Okay. Top dead center. Like I say, there's another one over here. You're not going to get but a glimpse of it here, because I got to turn my head at the same time as trying to drive forward. There's a chasm there, a deep chasm. Great swimming spot. So this is called Bryant Springs Road. I've never been on it. All the more reason to take it. What do we got here? Another message board. And a road. I don't know where that goes. Darn it. They've been doing a lot of logging here. And this right here is where power lines come in. Yeah, I don't know which way to go back there, so we'll just do this, and if it turns out to be wrong, we'll turn around and come back. You know, because this is essentially heading towards Ice House Road. But maybe not. If I remember correctly, the road has to swing around the mountain a little bit before it's going to drop down. Some other dirt road coming in right there. They had a number on it. I would have to think we need to go out here further. Or wait a minute, there's the lake right there. Yeah, we have to go a little further to get to the Union Valley Reservoir. Well, let's give you guys a look, a good solid look here. Nice. Look at that. A little bit low. And on the other side, they're letting some water out. It's an earthen dam. Now what we're going to do is go on across the dam, and we'll be heading up behind all of this stuff. Essentially, we came down Icehouse Reservoir on Icehouse Road. I'm sorry. Essentially, we came down Union Valley Reservoir on Icehouse Road. And this Bryant Springs Road goes around the back side of it. But darn it if it isn't paved the whole way. Before we leave the area, let's turn around and get one look back from this vantage point, and we'll also get this plaque here. Okay, first of all, it's Union Valley Dam. And it's dedicated to the memory of Albert Given. He was 1876 through 1961, who, as the city engineer of Sacramento and as general manager and chief engineer of Sacramento Municipal Utility District, devoted much of his life to the study and advocacy of this project for furnishing electricity and water for the Sacramento area, to the enduring benefit of its people. And the plaque was put in '64, so it's been here a while. There's a look back. We're gonna leave it. Oh boy, I don't know which way to go here. Well, it's got to be to the right because this is paved. This Bryant Springs is paved. So there's my first ever look at Union Valley Reservoir from this vantage. Never seen the dam before. And we'll continue on Bryant Springs Road for your enjoyment. If we get to any place called Bryant Springs that looks really cool. What's this here? That goes down to... There's a gated thing there. Motorized vehicles limited to designated routes. So they have a campground right here. It's called West Point Campground. The thing about Airport Flat, where I'm at, is they don't charge anything. And all other campgrounds, they're charging now. And if it's unimproved completely campground, they might want $10 a day. But other than that, the full-fledged campgrounds are now asking for $32 a day. It's just ridiculous. Gotta pay for that? While I know there is maintenance and upkeep to be done and so forth, we have paid taxes. Can't they allot some? And take the burden off of us paying more? I'll tell you one thing. There is a yearly pass you can buy, which is a super good deal. You can buy a yearly pass. Let's say it's $87, but you can go to all the campgrounds all year, all summer long, year long, for like only 40% of the normal price. So it's quite a savings to depending how much you go camping and stuff. I wonder what that guy was doing. He had his dog. His dog was in the gulch. Resting in the gulch. And his chair was out. Looks like he's been there a while. Around the backside of Union Valley. And they've got logs available for all you people out there that need wood. One thing that's slightly scary about this route is it's got quite a bit of gravel in the center of certain locations. You can't rely on your turns to be trouble-free. Like just giving it gas right there, the rear tire slipped out and slipped over to the right approximately 1 inch. Nothing scary. I'd just rather have it be all dirt and gravel or all pavement. Seems to have a pretty decent pavement job though. There's a 1-lane road ahead. What is it we're on now? Oh, they've got their boulder barricades in action here. They're not letting anybody go anywhere off the edge. Any of these possibilities has a rock. They have done their boulder barricade work. Although if your four-wheel drive's big enough, you just go over those. Every time I see a dirt road like that off to the left, going up the hill, shady, you know, I just want to go check it out. But you've only got so much time in the day. And I have these plans for a night ride tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to go through with it because it's got these lights on it that I have yet to really use. You can't use them in normal everyday traffic situations in the city, but it just blinds everybody. So you gotta have a heart. And there's not anybody there. You've got the lake to yourself. And it's a great sunny day and the water's fine. That's what you've been looking for. Every one of these turns has pea gravel on it. If not one center line, then two. I don't see any boulders here. There's some. Well, there's a couple. But they're leaving all the rest of this open. Just go around it. End to the road work. Good. Maybe there'll be less pea gravel. Looks like we'll get a vantage point of the lake from this area. Maybe. Yeah, I see it through the trees, but it's not worth stopping for. From our summertime commune on the other side of the lake, this mountainside is what we were always looking out to. And I never ever made it over here till now. It's taken me 50 years to get over here. Now that dirt road had big boulders on it. You know, they don't want you going down there. They have designated routes, and motorized vehicles are limited to the designated ones. So if you see a route and it's not like inviting you to go, okay, here's a campground. They're calling it Yellow Jacket. But we're not very far from Ice House Road then. I don't know, 2.5 miles, something like that. Yeah, the end of the road work was good for the pea gravel dispersal, but now we've gotten into lesser improved sections of the Bryant Springs Road. So where is Bryant Springs? You know, I don't have the map out here. I don't have like GPS, so I haven't been alerted that we're getting there. A stop sign? Where are we? Ice House Road already? Yep. We're at Ice House Road already. Didn't take long to do that. Okay, we'll just run on this battery until it dies, if it does. And we're on our way back to camp. Could probably use some food. And I would think that those guys, the SDA members, are probably back to camp by now. What time is it anyway? It is 3:27. Maybe some more people are coming up too. I don't know who all's supposed to be coming. Wentworth Springs Road. So the big wonder here is how many of these goons are going to Ice House? And how many are going up and beyond? Let's do I didn't have the headlight on. The way I'm set up, I forget to turn it on all the time. And let's do a test of these Yeah, they're lighting up. The way I have my blinding lights set up is so that they come on if I have this switch on, and only if that switch is on. They come on when I turn on the low beam, if that switch is on. And that way, let's say I don't have the switch on. Well, now I'm in normal riding, and I can ride along in high beam, get the best vision possible, and switch to low beam when there's a car oncoming. But if I'm in a rural road like this, what I'm gonna do is I'll be running with my low beam and my LEDs, and if a car comes, I'll switch to high beam, and that'll shut off the blinding light. They're still gonna have the high beam pointing high, pointing into their eyes, but it's better than the LEDs and everything all at once. So that's what they're gonna get. There's no worries and no care, because we're just on a early Friday beginning to our ride, enjoying a mellow cruise through the mountains. Hey, look up ahead, there's Tim. Heading for Airport Flat. We're just about there. I want you to make a mental note of it, so if you ever come up here, you'll know, oh, I remember that turn, and it's just after that that we see it open up into Airport Flat. Well, at least they're not coming here. Okay, so we're back at camp. This is home away from home for the next day, maybe 2 days. We don't know for sure. But one thing we wonder, is the camera rolling? Yeah, it's still rolling. At some point it was dead.
Here. Yeah. Here's the video of ride number 1 from the AF. Airport Flat. Down Ice House Road to Peavine Ridge. Over to Bryant Springs. Around the backside of the lake and back to camp. Takes about an hour and a half, the way I was doing it. I'm giving you most all of the ride because it's just, good road, great conversation,